Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take a stack of information and extract the most important insights just for you. Today we're plunging into a topic that, well, it underpins almost every business you interact with, yet it often operates kind of behind the scenes. We're talking about business to business or B2B marketing. Now, for those of you deep in the B2B world, these basics are, familiar territory, but they're worth stating because they really set the stage for everything else. We mean that strategic process of one business selling products or services to another organization. Could be producers, resellers, governments, you name it.
Absolutely. And what's often missed, I think, is that without solid B2B marketing, even the best B2C product can just, well, wither on the vine. No supply chain, no distribution. It's really the engine room, sort of the quiet engine room of global commerce. And the scale, the transformation happening right now, it's pretty astonishing. Just look at the global B2B digital ad market. It's not just growing, it's projected to hit, what, $48.15 billion by 2026? That figure alone, I mean, it just screams fundamental shift towards digital. It's urgent.
48 billion. Wow, that's a staggering number and really sets the stage perfectly. So our mission today is to really deep dive into what makes B2B marketing tick, what makes it so distinct, how is it evolving so fast in this digital age, and crucially, what does it actually take for businesses like yours to succeed in this, let's face it, complex landscape? We'll look globally and specifically zoom in on South Asia later too. Okay, so let's unpack this. When we say B2B marketing, it's really more than just the selling part, isn't it? It's about strategically promoting product services from one business to another. The core goal is engaging, influencing that complex web of decision makers within the target companies. It's about getting qualified leads, supporting sales for just a huge range of companies out there.
Exactly. It's not just important, it's foundational. Foundational for growth, for operations. Why? Because pretty much every business relies on other businesses to function. Simple as that. Its importance, well, it covers everything from building brand awareness, getting that deep customer understanding, to consistently generating leads, driving traffic, even fostering innovation. Ultimately, it hits the bottom line. It impacts sales growth because you can do really precise audience targeting, create compelling content. That means better leads, more revenue. It's this systemic interdependence, So B2B marketing isn't an add-on, it's core. It's fundamental to how businesses operate and grow.
Interdependence. That's a great word for it. It really captures that interconnectedness. And that actually brings me to something people often get confused about. How different is this really from B2C, business to consumer marketing? So for you, the listener, let's just quickly hit the key distinctions again because they shape every single B2B strategy. First, the audience and the decision-making unit. B2B, you're talking complex teams, professional buyers, multiple stakeholders, not just one person deciding on the spot. Second, the buying cycle. Oh, it's way longer in B2B. Extended evaluation, multiple approvals, often custom solutions. Totally different from B2C, which often chases that impulse buy. Third, product complexity. Generally much higher in B2B. These things are often custom, need expert integration, big investments. Fourth, switching costs. Usually much higher in B2B. Once you integrate a system, a supplier, changing is costly, disruptive. That encourages loyalty. And finally, relationships. Personal connections, trust. They're huge in B2B. Smaller customer bases, repeat purchases, it all relies on that trust.
And what's truly fascinating here, despite B2B buyers often being painted as purely rational, focused only on ROI, emotional factors, things like trust and confidence, they are incredibly critical. Why? Because there's so much accountability on the line for the buyer. In fact, some studies show these emotional elements influence up to 56% of the final purchase decision. 56%. So B2B marketing, it has to cultivate that emotional connection, that resonance, right alongside the facts and figures. It's about fostering trust, partnership.
56%. That's actually quite striking for B2B. We tend to think it's all spreadsheets and logic. Does that mean the old school, relationship building on the golf course is still king? Or are these emotions built differently now, digitally?
Precisely. It's less about those old stereotypes, I think. It's more about how the digital experience builds that emotional trust. Think about it. A seamless, intuitive platform that consistently delivers value, that builds confidence. It reduces perceived risk. And that's a massive emotional driver for a B2B buyer who might be, frankly, putting their own neck on the line with a big purchase. And speaking of how buyers engage now, McKinsey's rule of thirds is really key here. Basically, B2B customers use a roughly equal mix of channels, traditional, remote, and self-service at every single stage of buying. And this isn't just one sector, it's universal across industries, company sizes, which means, bottom line, you absolutely need an integrated omnichannel strategy, no question.
Okay, so that complex buyer journey, needing that omnichannel approach, it really highlights that modern B2B marketers need a seriously robust toolkit. What are some of the key tools and strategies really driving engagement now? Maybe start with demand generation, because that's not just about leads, right? It's about creating and nurturing genuine interest, purchase intent, really aiming for those highly qualified sales leads, using data analytics, predictive modeling, automation, personalized experiences to get there.
Yeah, and building right on that foundation is content marketing. It's absolutely pivotal. The numbers here are, well, they're quite illuminating. 91% of B2B marketers use content. That's almost everyone. And the impact, it's profound. 60% of buyers base final decisions on digital content. 60%. And get this, 50% review at least 8 pieces of content. Over 80% look at 5 or more articles before they even buy. So content becomes this powerful pre-sales catalyst. It shortens sales cycles, yes, but it also firmly establishes your brand as a thought leader.
8 pieces of content before buying. That's staggering. Does that mean the traditional sales call is like on its way out? Or is its role just changing?
Oh, it's definitely evolving. Not obsolete, no, but the buyer shows up so much more informed now. Content does the heavy lifting, pre-qualifying, educating, building that initial trust. So the sales conversation can be much sharper, focused on solving specific problems right away, not just basic 101 stuff. It changes the whole dynamic. And, once you've actually won that B2B client, the real work, in many ways, just begins. Customer experience, CX, it's not just jargon here. It's the absolute bedrock of loyalty, of advocacy, especially crucial in B2B, where, as you said, switching costs are high.
And kind of weaving through all of this is artificial intelligence, AI.
Yeah.
It feels like it's truly transforming B2B marketing right now. Enabling automation, optimizing conversion rates, that hyper-personalization we talked about, making decisions based on data at a scale that was frankly unimaginable before. AI is essentially like augmenting human capabilities, right? Freeing up marketers for that high-value relationship stuff that's so critical in B2B.
Precisely. AI facilitates what you could call hyper-targeted, personalized marketing and account-based everything. It provides the data, the automation needed to actually make those vital human-to-human relationships stronger, more efficient. It's about using tech to make human connection more impactful, definitely not replacing it.
Okay, so pulling all these different threads together, what does this actually mean for your business? Listening right now, we've kind of distilled an action plan from all this, focusing on the core principles you need for sustainable B2B growth.
Right. First off, a customer-centric approach. It sounds obvious, but it's non-negotiable. This means really truly understanding the customer, building detailed buyer personas, implementing automated feedback loops so you know their pain points. Second, data-driven decision-making. That's the backbone, really. You absolutely need to be analyzing metrics. Engagement rates, yes. Customer acquisition cost, CAC, definitely. Lead conversion ratios. And critically, share of voice, SOV, how much of the market conversation do you own? And even extra share of voice, ESOV, that's your SOV relative to your market share. It's a key predictor of growth.
Okay, and next up, the importance of consistent and valuable content. The most effective approach here, according to the data, isn't just selling or just branding. It's a balance.
Right.
A balance is brand building that takes about 46% of the effort with sales activation, which is the other 54%. So this kind of blended approach educates, it builds trust, and it actively guides prospects along their journey.
And crucially, it's about finding the right integration of human and automated processes. Yes, AI and automation streamline tons of tasks, make things efficient, but preserving that human touch, paramount. Buyers still value, often prefer, genuine human interaction at key moments. Those personalized follow-ups by sales reps, they significantly boost conversion rates, often helped along by tools like, say, LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
Think of it like this. In B2C, you might impulse buy a new phone gadget. Quick decision. In B2B, it's more like negotiating a multi-year deal for, mission-critical software. Naturally, that takes longer, more people involved. So sustainable B2B growth absolutely demands a long-term focus on relationships. Given those longer sales cycles, you need smart budget allocation over extended periods. Keep engaging, foster that loyalty. That's what drives repeat business. Okay, now for the really practical bit. Let's look at which B2B marketing channels are actually delivering results. This data is quite revealing.
Yeah, we've got some really impactful data here. It's compiled from over 150 B2B marketing projects across more than 30 industries looked at between 2020 and 2024. And the channels with the highest ROI, they're quite distinct. Speaking engagements at industry events delivered an incredible 856% ROI, sequel cost per acquisition, $518, and Thought Leadership SEO. That came in at 748% ROI with a CAC of $647. Now, it's really important to note these often need significant upfront investment. They're not quick wins, wins, not immediate lead generators. They're much more about that long-term brand building we were just talking about. Now, for a strong nurturing channel, email really stands out. 261% ROI. It's up around $510. It excels at nurturing leads you already have, maybe less so for initial generation. Other strong performers. Account-based marketing, ABM. That's 240% ROI. But, and it's a big but, it has the highest CAC by far, 4,664 accounts. Which makes sense, actually, when you think about it. ABM is hyper-focused, often manual, personalized outreach to maybe just a handful of high-value target accounts. It's a sniper rifle, not a shotgun approach. Then you've got LinkedIn Organic, 229% ROI. LinkedIn Advertising, 119% ROI. And PPCSM, pay-per-click, search engine marketing, offers quick results, sure, but the ROI was lower in this data set, 36%, with a TAC of 802 toolers.
It really seems like the biggest trap then is just chasing those quick wins, right? This data just screams at the long game. Things like speaking gigs and thought leadership offers potentially mind-blowing ROI. But yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So the critical takeaway here seems crystal clear. You need a diversified, integrated channel strategy. Absolutely essential. Got to balance that long-term brand building with the short-term lead gen. And every choice has to align with that complex B2B buyer journey. Okay, moving beyond just the channels, let's touch on key global trends shaping the B2B landscape right now. We're definitely seeing artificial intelligence, AI, becoming indispensable. Personalization, decision-making, it's everywhere. Account-based marketing, ABM integration continues to be huge. Data privacy and ethical marketing, absolutely paramount now. Transparency, consent, non-negotiable. Video content is just dominant. 72% of B2B marketers say it's essential. And get this, 89% of buyers are convinced to buy after watching a brand's video. Wow. Mobile-optimized experience is critical. 60% of B2B buyers use smartphones for research. Has to work on mobile. And finally, sustainability messaging.
It's not just nice to have anymore. It's a critical factor in B2B decisions. Companies are evaluating partners on their environmental and social credentials. And now, let's pivot, because this is where it gets really interesting. Let's shift focus to the dynamics in South Asia, specifically looking at Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. How does B2B play out there?
Okay, let's start with Bangladesh. What we're seeing is really rapid B2B e-commerce growth, driven by more internet access, more smartphones, and interestingly, influencer marketing is gaining serious traction there. In B2B, 85% of B2B marketers used influencers in 2023. That's up 34% from just 2020. And the ROI, pretty impressive. Average of $5.12 back for every dollar spent. Plus, 63% trust influencers more than brands, and 72% report higher quality leads from influencers. Even TikTok is emerging for B2B there.
Wow, influencer marketing having such a strong B2B foothold in Bangladesh. That's actually quite surprising. Are there unique challenges, though, that come with this rapid digital uptake?
Oh, absolutely. Despite the growth, Bangladesh faces hurdles. Technology access, the cost of it. Infrastructure, logistics still catching up. And a big one, a persistent trust deficit in digital payments. There's still a really strong preference for cash transactions. So, yeah, adoption is fast, but the underlying systems need development.
Okay. Over in India, the B2B scene is going through this profound digital-first transformation. It's projected to hit, $200 billion by 2030. And already, over 70% of B2B buyers there are comfortable making high-value digital purchases without needing face-to-face meetings.
Then look at Pakistan. E-commerce is growing, yes, but the numbers tell a stark story. In 2022, 85% of the $255 billion in B2B payment flows were still cash-based. 85%. This is despite huge potential for digital payments. Maybe $121 billion could be digitized. The challenges, similar themes. Lack of trust, strong preference for cash on delivery, that's 55%, and weaker ICT infrastructure. And for Sri Lanka, e-commerce shows significant growth potential, projected near $5 billion by 2027. But they face hurdles too. Lagging digital maturity overall, limited use of test and learn approaches, with 80% apparently not tracking KPIs effectively.
You know, when I first saw this data on South Asia, what really jumped out was that Pakistan figure, the sheer scale of cash and B2B payments, despite the digital potential. That's a massive hurdle, isn't it? It just proves you can't simply copy-paste a global digital strategy there.
Exactly. If we connect this back to the bigger picture, these regional differences just hammer home the need to adapt globally, act locally. It's a cliche, but it's true. It cannot be a one-size-fits-all strategy. You have to tailor everything: content, approach, payment options to local languages, cultural nuances, specific market challenges, digital maturity, trust in digital systems. It varies wildly, demands a truly customized approach.
Okay, so pulling all of this incredible insight together, what does this mean for your business, for you listening? We've summarized the actionable recommendations that came out of these sources, hopefully giving you a clear path forward for your B2B marketing success.
Right. Here are the core recommendations, sort of boiled down. 1. Embrace a digital-first, omnichannel strategy. Be where your customers are. Integrate digital across the entire B2B buyer journey. 2. Invest in high-quality strategic content. Prioritize valuable educational stuff. Remember that balance. 46% brand building, 54% sales activation. Content is your pre-sales catalyst. 3. Leverage data and AI for personalization. Use analytics, use AI. Get insights, segment audiences, deliver hyper-personalized messages. Augment your team's capabilities. 4. Cultivate trust and relationships. Focus on the long game, build those relationships, and proactively address trust issues, especially around digital payments in certain markets. 5. Adapt globally, act locally. Tailor everything. Content, strategy, channels. Address specific regional challenges and opportunities. One size definitely does not fit all. 6. Explore influencer marketing and employee advocacy. Don't dismiss influencers, especially in regions like Bangladesh where it's proving effective. And empower your employees. They can be powerful, authentic advocates. 7. And finally, prioritize ethical marketing and sustainability. Be transparent with data. Highlight your environmental, social responsibility efforts. It matters more and more in B2B decisions.
There you have it. B2B marketing, I mean, it's clearly undergoing just a profound transformation. It's blending that rational, data-driven side with these crucial emotional factors like trust.
Yeah.
All happening within this increasingly digital omnichannel world.
Yeah, and this deep dive really reveals something interesting, I think. Even as tech and data drive all this incredible efficiency and personalization, ultimate success still hinges on understanding human needs, fostering genuine trust, aligning values. The human element remains central. So the question for you is, how will you ensure your B2B strategy not only leverages all the latest innovations, but also cultivates those human connections, the ones that truly differentiate and sustain growth in this dynamic landscape?